Right, Charlie, obviously games no. And then you made aside English Premier League. I think that this morning we're kind. Spanish La Liga is also starting. And almost all of the games no across Europe, the leagues no are starting. So very, very interesting set of evening and I'm discussing much after the games because of the state funeral of the 8 people who passed just a couple of weeks ago. Here in Ghana, we're having a state funeral for them. And of course, that's the reason why on Isra, we couldn't bring you today's analysis on them. But today, I'm going to give you the rest of the analysis. We'll delve into it. We'll talk about it as on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So I will subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe. If you've still not picked up the codes to bet for today's odds, they are in the description of the video below. Also, the link to the Fiifi-Manfred sports analysis 2 channel is also in the description of the video below. Go and pick it up and make sure you give yourself a good chance at winning something. Let us get straight into it. Talk about the games, talk about football, delve into details. As on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Let me say a big afternoon to Yesimo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. Charlie, in terms of spare parts dealership, if you have a brand new car, you need spare parts. Kind of more problems. I thought there are issues with it. Charlie, the best place is Yesimo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. And just go to Yesimo right now. Get them their spare parts of your car. Range Rover, Honda, Acura, CRV, everything. Just go to Yesimo right now. They'll get a job done for you. Again, also, if you're in Abosoka, just take the car to them. They'll get a job done. If you're not in Abosoka, Yesimo does nationwide delivery. Yeah, nationwide delivery. That's exactly what Yesimo does. So you can also call them on 059 313 8221. 059 313 8221. 059 313 8221. Let Yesimo take very good care of you. There is also MOB clothing. Charlie, if you're looking for any kind of attire that you want to wear, maybe you want some Lacoste, you want some shirts, you want some nice tees that you want to go out, you want some slippers, some shoes, some belts. Charlie, you want to fly. The best place for you to go is to go to MOB clothing at the flower station at Tudu. MOB clothing is there. Go and then reach out to them. Let them make sure that they take very good care of you. Call them on 0200 668 708 024 7277 140. So call them. They'll take very, very good care of you. Now let's get straight 30 minutes of action. First of all, Real Madrid. The Spanish La Liga is starting, and Madrid's first game is going to be on Monday, not Saturday, not Sunday, but on Monday. And of course, yesterday, Franco Mastantuano was unveiled. I've said it several times that, see, the best thing that's going to happen to Real Madrid is the fact that Franco Mastantuano will add a lot of South American bite into their midfield. Now, if you look at Madrid midfield now, Federico Valverde, and then, of course, Orient Chimeni, Eduardo Camavinga, all of those midfielders, most of them are technical. Ada Gole, technical, he's European. Chimeni, and of course, Camavinga, technical Europeans. But you need more of the South American greats sometimes when your arch rival, your nemesis, Football Club Barcelona, is doing everything right. And that is why I keep on talking about the importance of Franco Mastantuano when he starts playing for Football Club Real Madrid. And he did mention enough in an interview. He told Real Madrid team that he knows that Madrid is the best club in the world and he doesn't have to talk. He said immediately Madrid called him, he put everything on hold. Of course, that's exactly what happened to, a young Argentine talent from River Plate who wants to go and play in Europe. When Madrid calls, you answer them, and that's exactly what Abrante Franco Mastantuano did do for Football Club Real Madrid. Of course, on the other side is the fact that Jude Bellingham has returned to training. And then Jude Bellingham was on solo training, not full training, out of Madrid City Center. Jude Bellingham did a single training, solo training on his own to try and beef up his fitness. After that shoulder aging, apparently Jude Bellingham was taking a lot of painkillers for his shoulder. They had to make sure, so they give him, they do the surgery for him just so he can come back and come and play. In that training today, everybody was there. Eduardo Camavinga, Orient Chimene, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. Of course, Vinny's contract issues not still Erlinga around, but still, Vinny Jr. was right there in the mix in terms of Real Madrid players that are retained for their training. Kylian Mbappe, big season ahead of our bench friend Kylian Mbappe. and he was right there in the mix also in touch, and of course with a coach Xavi Alonso right there in the conversation as well. I don't know, Madrid fans and minimum, where will Madrid finish this season? This season, where will football club Real Madrid or club football Real Madrid finish next season? Is it going to be the winning of the Spanish La Liga? Are they going to win? Are they going to go on and then win the Champions League? Would it come back to a Xavi Alonso? How is his reign going to be like for Xavi Alonso as a manager for football club Real Madrid? We'll be here. We'll delve into it deeper. We'll talk about it and we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the conversation when it comes to Real Madrid and everything that's going on in there. It's a big conversation over there. Now, straight to Barcelona. This afternoon, Barcelona are sending the document straight up to go to the La Liga for say they should go through and then finalize the registration. Now, the medical documents were done. They've gone to do the paperwork. Now, what Barca are doing right now is to finally take the documentation for the registration of Juan Garcia. What we hear this morning, I told you it's going to be Juan Garcia and our brand friend Marcus Rashford. But we're also hearing extensively that Barcelona most likely are going to first of all try and do our brand friend Juan Garcia at the end. If everything goes to plan, then of course after that, they'll try and do our brand friend Marcus Rashford's contract registration or La Liga on Sunday. They can play against Mallorca. By start with our brand friend Juan Garcia. On the part of goalkeeper, still our brand friend Inaki Pena. Barcelona want to extend his contract, which ends in 2026. Now, it's not because some people will keep it. What Barca want to do is that in extension of the contract of our brand friend Inaki Pena, they want to amortize more the rest of the years of his salary, and then after that they'll be able to take him on loan. So that's exactly what Barca want to do. He's seen as a financial wheel to make extra money for Football Club Barcelona. So Barca are working on the extension of the contract of Abantia Yefreno Inaki Pena, whilst also going on to make sure that there is the registration of Abantia Yefreno Juan Garcia or club Bibia. So we wait to see how that one goes in there. Hansi Dieter Flick was right there at the pre-match press conference. It was big. Hansi Dieter Flick, they asked him questions. They told him, Charlie Dieter Flick, how is the season going to go like? Are you ready? Champions League in the Spanish La Liga. First one, Hansi Dieter Flick say, when you talk about the Spanish La Liga and the Champions League, what would he like to win? Is one of them better than the other? Hansi Dieter Flick was clear or say he doesn't care about the trophies or whatever. The most important thing is say his team, Football Club Barcelona, has to improve on what they did last season. That is spot on as a manager. And see, I have forever respect for German managers and Germans. They know exactly what to say at almost every point in time. And that's exactly what Hansi Dieter Flick now captured at Barcelona in our pre-match press conference. You see, before say the press conference will start, Barcelona, my journalists say, yeah, arrive at the season, your mom will breakfast. When the dinner relax, maybe the anya come Jumano, baby. I had a crew saying that Jumano any star level. Of course, they were giving that, and they gave them the asked Hansi Dieter Flick said, would you want either of the champions? And he said, no, he's about improvement. Or no, today. If his team is able to show signs of improvement, nothing else matters to him. He just wants to make sure, say, Football Club Barcelona players will improve, the club in itself will improve, and things are going to go well. They asked him, say, you have lost Inigo Martinez to Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League. When are you going to bring the new centre back? And I say, to be very honest with you, Barca are not going to sign a new centre back. He said it clear. Hansi Dieter Flick said he is okay with Christensen, okay with Ronald Araujo, okay with Kyle Kubasi, and of course also okay with Eric Garcia, who can play there when the needs come. And I've said it several times here. Barca have the needed profile. They have an excellent CCB in Christensen or Kubasi. They have very good aggressors in Kubasi to do the job. Also a good aggressor in Abrantia Peno, Ronald Araujo. But if you want also ball playing calmness, ability from the back there, then Andreas Christensen is one of those guys that can get a job done for Team My Friend Football Club Barcelona. So once Dieter Flick says no, centre back there be any other centre back there, but his focus is on building the team, and there is nothing about new players or beating Abel. They asked him questions also about a brand here friend of Fermin Lopez. Say and by people felt that Fermin Lopez was going to leave Barcelona. Now is he going to let Fermin Lopez go? No. Last season, Femi Lopez played multiple positions and places for us. There is no way I remember Femi Lopez. Femi Lopez, yeah, important player. I bet in the major now Branty Onimbo, but say Femi Lopez will leave the club. So I won't let Femi Lopez go. My focus is making sure that Femi Lopez plays behind the strikers, the number 10. He made mention, say, yes, it's also a position where Branty Feni Danny Olmo plays in there subsequently for Football Club Barcelona. But again, although Dani Olmo may get more minutes than Femi Lopez now, it does not mean Sebastian for the person with Femi Lopez. And see, Femi is an important player. And Marcus Rashford described Femi Lopez as a floaty. And that is the excellent way to describe Femi Lopez as a 10. Left, right, central, floating in between the lines, receiving the ball in the half space, constantly receiving the ball on a half 10, and then playing forward. Femi Lopez is such a gem for Football Club Barcelona, and that's why I've said several times that it would have been suicidal of the highest order if Barcelona say that they want to go on and sell Abantia a friend of Femi Lopez. I told you the last time, say Hector Fort in semi buy. It's clear. Hector Fort is going to leave Barcelona after the Mallorca game on Sunday. He's going to find a different place to play his football and focus on his development and then be a better player for himself. But of course, Hector Fort doesn't have a future, especially immediate one this season. What we are hearing from Indica and everywhere by way of transfers on the part of Barcelona, say Barcelona, they've entered Paris Saint-Germain. They want to add a young, pacey, direct winger into their team. A player that they think he will raise the ceiling of Football Club Barcelona. Somebody that they think that is going to be an important player for Barcelona. And it's a brand here for the Desiree Doué. I mean, desired grace. That's the meaning of Desiree Doué. What here is the Barcelona are pushing in. So next summer, they'll go to Paris Saint-Germain and will ask questions of a brand here for Desiree Doué and probably bring Desiree Doué into their team to come and compete, play well, help them win trophies and stuff like that. So that is exactly what Football Club Barcelona are saying that they want to get for themselves now. So we'll see if Barca are going to get a better friend Desiree Doué. The Champions League conversation is getting closer and closer. I mean, next month there's going to be the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Who wins it? Is it going to be Abrantia, the friend of Ousmane Dembele? Is it going to be Rafinha? Is it going to be Lamine Yamal? I've said it several times. If it's about pure numbers, it's about influence, it's about quality of play, it's about how much of one player has dominated the world and being the best player. I think I should have been Rafinha. Those numbers are super. And yesterday, didn't come on, and we kept on saying, he said, see, in football, it's funny. When certain things pass you by, only a few players get a chance to get them back again. Go back and talk about Ribery. When that year, when he thought that he had to win the Ballon d'Or, he never came back again. Go back and talk about not Cristiano Ronaldo. Talk about Ibrahimovic. Talk about Lampard, Xavi, Iniesta. When you get close and you don't win, that's so. Even those players that won it once, somebody like Fabio Cannavaro won it just once and he couldn't come back and win again. So the Ballon d'Or now, Rafinha is not able to win this year. Though. It's going to be difficult for him to win it next year, regarding whatever happens to him. But we'll see. Maybe he's going to be one of those few outliers who are able to win the trophy after they miss out on the first time. Now we'll see if Barca are going to get Abantia, a friend of Rafinha, to be able to win the Ballon d'Or in next season. But of course, the Spanish La Liga is there. Barca won't beat the Spanish La Liga, and as a Madrid are going to take a huge claim to the Spanish La Liga, and they are going to make it very, very difficult for them to come in and get the job done over there. Then you may Liverpool are playing against Bournemouth, big one. Actually, Bournemouth will team they want to deny and call. Milos Kekes call. Goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga call. And no player, I'm sorry, I've heard also Sabrante Dango Ouattara. Brentford have come in and said actually they want Abrante Freno, Dango Ouattara, also from the club that is called Dango Ouattara from Bournemouth. So he's also not going to be there. And I've seen some news that people were saying, say, Joao Pedro is on a red card and he can't play against Crystal Palace. That's not true. Joao Pedro, after the last red card he had for Brighton and Hove Albion, had played in multiple games. And then he is fit to come and play in this one for Chelsea Football Club on Sunday. So on Sunday, I'm expecting to see Joao Pedro. Enzo Maresca was in a pre-match press conference. Charlie, interesting press conference. bombshells in Kwa. The first thing that came up was the journalists were crazy and they said, Maresca, we have heard that Anna Slot says that you are in contention to win the league. And he says, oh, he doesn't care about what other managers say. He is not too enthused about what other opponents say. His focus really is about Onono Krabono when it comes to his players' development and the quality they can do. He doesn't really pay attention to what other teams and managers and all of those things are talking about his club. Nah, he doesn't really focus on that. But he says that you go on, you win the league. Then he says, Charlie, he doesn't play those kind of games. So, and see, I love that response. I've said several times, there is nothing on Anislot. There is nothing wrong with what Anislot said. Anislot didn't say anything wrong. He didn't, mean bad. Of course, see, football managers are cunning. I've said it several times. Football essentially is like a chess table. Everybody does the mind games. Everybody plays with your brain and stuff like that. Make sure they get the best out of you. Ancelotti is one of the best brains in the game right now. But see, it is different when a coach is good in terms of the brains. Like Unime Jumano on the field of play, Yensheshe team winning games. And also, when that same coach is an excellent communicator. Communication is a huge tool. I said it several times. If you're not a good communicator, you may have the best brain, but putting that across for somebody to accept what you're saying is a big deal. So how to speak, how to coin it, how to frame it, and how to present it is super important. And that's exactly the kind of strength that Arne Slot has. And if you don't take care, Arne Slot gets into your head. If you don't take care. Because the question they asked him was that, who are going to the other teams that will come and compete? They mentioned all the teams and say, no, Chelsea is a good coach, Chelsea is a good team, they have the investment, blah, blah, blah. The Enzo Maresca says, I'm having none of that. And I like that from Enzo Maresca. Firm, straightforward, no mention of words, brutally honest with his things. I don't play such games. I focus on getting the job done. So that was the very first thing. Although when he said it, now Australia, they asked him about the big question of centre backs. Say, Charlie, now Chelsea centre backs in the corner, then Enzo Maresca said something very critical in that interview. Critical stuff that he said there. Enzo Maresca said, he doesn't just need a centre back. I say, and you say, yes, a centre back, or a centre back, no. I say, no. What he wants is that, sorry, he needs a CCB. And then he answer me, catch yourself. So Chelsea be in the back three up. There is always that person centrally who is the most important player in the first phase of build-up. Usually a centre back. Some teams use the goalkeeper. Some teams will use a DM to come and be in that trainer. But Chelsea, Enzo Maresca says, because I don't know person overload central, he can't use one midfielder to come. So it has to be his centre back. And what Maresca was saying is that the club knows what he wants in centre backs. Okay, say, but so who players will be? Oh, Bediashile, oh, Tosin, oh, all of these players. I say, yeah, it's true. Bediashile is not a CCB. Bediashile at best is an LCB. But Levi Cole is the CCB, and last season, Chelsea played 64 games. He made mention, say, in that 64 games now, it is only Levi Cole and Tosin Adrebiayu who could do that job of a CCB role. I've said it several times to you. I've told you several times the role of Tosin Adrebiayu as a CCB. The bigger problem with Tosin is that when it is on the ball, he's able to do it. The problem with him is that without the ball, you need Tosin to either take up a sweeper role or an aggressive role. So, is Tosin good enough to be an aggressor? I don't think so. Is Tosin good enough to be the sweeper? He's slow sometimes to that regard. At best, Tosin is good for box defending. So, when Maresca says that, yes, he wants a centre back, he says it in the context of, I need a CCB. But also, what he doesn't say in that interview, that people do not know, of course, because he's going to play against the game. He doesn't want to give his opponent the information. He doesn't want to come and say that my starting centre back, who is going to be the main centre back for me at CCB, I am now coming to expose his weaknesses. I'm now coming to let people know that he is not best in terms of defending in a high line with a pace to go back to go and defend when the ball goes in behind for him to defend in behind. Or his best strength is defending low, and it means that maybe you're going to drop the line. He doesn't give that hint, but that is it. In terms of, I'm an analyst, I'm not a coach, so I'll talk about that to you. And essentially, Tosin Adarabiayu has an outdoor stacks. He's not the best guy in terms of defending high. He's not the best guy in terms of defending with pace behind. Levi Cole is aggressive, front-footedness, stepping into midfield, winning duels, being combative. He was one of the best that he could get. in that regard. Whilst on the side of Tosin Adrabia, there is a big problem in that job. And now Chelsea would have to find a way. You have to find a way. And Enzo Maresca tells them that Charlie, the club knows that he wants a centre back. And this is why now people understanding why Chelsea wanted Bournemouth Dean Hudson, the guy who is now with Real Madrid. No, Chelsea wanted him because this is the number 10 of the centre back. I mean, tempo controller, Owen Fiifi-Manfred, who stays in the middle of the park to make sure say he manages everything and then glides it past, passes out from the back, reads the game, steps into midfield, very, very classy and flamboyant on the ball, or a good passer in between the lines. Charlie, he controls the game from the back. And it's the reason why Chelsea wanted Dean Hudson. Of course, they didn't get Dean Hudson. So Enzo Maresca mentioned that about his centre backs. Then they asked him about Tosin Adrabia. He also Tosin recovered to full fitness. They asked him about Wesley Fofana. I say, yeah, Wesley Fofana may be back. Maybe Wesley will be able to play in that game against Team Friend Crystal Palace over the weekend. No, I think that Wesley Fofana gets to play in that game, something that is very, very important for Enzo Maresca. So then, of course, on the other side of the conversation of Enzo Maresca, and then of course the games that go on, talking about the centre backs now, he goes on and he talks about the fact that every other player, they ask him specifically about a branch and João Hato. Enzo Maresca goes on and he says João Hato has not played as a CCB. He's at best a left centre back, and he doesn't think that João Hato can comfortably stay in the middle of the midfield three of the back three and then dictate the pace of the game. He said he has not seen that at all with our better friend João Hato. So Chelsea knows that they have to go into the market. Of course, in the market, we've been speaking about the kind of players that are there possibly for Chelsea to bring onto the market. We've heard of our better friend Pierre Hencapié. We've heard of our better friend Ribeiro also over there. I mean, quality player in that regard in terms of what they will give you on the ball, off the ball. The quality in that regard is super important. Something that Chelsea are going to get in these players when they come on. The bigger problem, however, is that now that the clubs know that this is what Chelsea needs this kind of player. They need this kind of players in their team. They are now going to ask for a lot of money. They'll ask for too much money for players, and that's another big problem for Chelsea Football Club. But obviously, they are going to see they'll be able to get these players in the various clubs. Of course, Pierre Hencapié from Team Friend Bino for Leverkusen, and of course, Abrantia Friend Oliveira from France. But what I told you the last time, and he said this is the centre back today, and in this market now, his partner in the job of France have been taken away from him. So it makes it even more difficult for Chelsea to find the needed CCB. So Chelsea needs a CCB, not just a centre back or something that they are really looking at, making sure say at the end of the day they can solve that problem or understand where the season will start. But of course, the question is that who start as centre back for you? We are Chelsea here. Why not start with Chelsea centre back now? And they have good news and thereby. And they say, my branch here, friend Xavi Simon's deal is getting closer and closer. Chelsea are closing in on the deal for Xavi Simons. Now, I told you and I've been telling you for almost 2 weeks now, say the conversation around Xavi Simons is that it's just one player that is making it difficult for the Xavi Simons deal to go through. It's because Chelsea want to get Christopher Nkunku out of the books. They want to make sure that at the end of the day, Christopher Nkunku is not there just so they can free up some space and then bring in the new player in their team, which is going to be Xavi Alonso. I've mentioned several times that AC Milan asked for questions about Christopher Nkunku. Inter Milan asked about Christopher Nkunku, and then Bayern Munich were also in there. Now, in that deal for Bayern Munich, what we've heard today, according to from Sky Germany, Ballon and Keka, all in Germany, what they are saying is that they have accepted that they want Christopher Nkunku. Now, Max Ebel is now leading the charge in the negotiation for Christopher Nkunku to move from Chelsea Football Club. But there is a problem. Now, what Bayern wants is that they would rather want to get Christopher Nkunku on loan. They want Christopher Nkunku on loan from Chelsea. And Chelsea for said that it's 50 million. Now, why would you want to buy a player from Chelsea on loan when just a few weeks ago you went on, you bought Luis Diaz for 70 million, and then of course you came in and then you also paid 50 million for Nick Votamade, a player that you've not been able to get. You wanted Nick Votamade, you could not get Nick Votamade, and now it's a big deal for for themselves. I think that Chelsea should not budge. Chelsea should be more solid. They should hold on to it. They should strengthen their stand and make sure that they do not budge at all. They keep up with a player that they want over there and then go on and then sell Christopher Nkunku, because immediately Chelsea is able to let Christopher Nkunku go, it opens up the way. But Bayern have accepted that they may not be able to get the best talent all across Europe to be able to compete and then playing their football and then win laurels in Europe, but they will get the best talent that they have to get to be able to win local trophies for the German Bundesliga, the DFB Pokal, and all of those trophies. And it's something that they really want to go on and then get a job done. And that's exactly why they are focusing on getting that job done. And Bayern are saying that, fine, if you say that you want to let Nkunku go there, then we'll come and get Christopher Nkunku on loan. So give Nkunku to us on loan. Chelsea say no. Nkunku is not a player that is going to go on. And I like the fact that Chelsea are not budging. Now, immediately, Abrante friend Christopher Nkunku leaves to go to FC Bayern Munich. It opens up the way for Chelsea to go in there and then bring in Xavi Simons. Already, the personal terms for Xavi Simons is sorted. What is left, however, is to make sure that Chelsea can go in there and then buy Xavi Simons, give the amount of money to RB Leipzig, and then bring the player to the English Premier League to come in and come and deliver something that's very, very important. So that's a very, very good news on Xavi Simons over there. Right step in the right direction, getting the player that they need, making sure that the player comes in and is able to play. Super important player. In fact, there were parts of last season where Chelsea, once Cole Palmer dropped in form, it affected Chelsea Football Club. Now, it's in this season that Chelsea say that they don't want a certain Cole Palmer's drop in form to affect the club again. If Cole Palmer drops in form, there should be a Xavi Alonso, there should be a Xavi Simons, there should be other players that will come in and help in terms of the play and then get the job done for Chelsea Football Club. And that's why they are going very, very hard on Xavi Simons to be able to come in to get a job done. We'll see how those things go on. There are a couple of days more to go. And then Manchester United have wanted Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba, important player in the middle of the park. I think I'm the first journalist in this country, the first football analyst that pointed out that that's the kind of player that is, of course, at least maybe in the open, that pointed out that Carlos Baleba is the kind of profile that Manchester United need. Because even in Europe, I've not seen that. I think they picked up from here when we kept on telling Manchester United that you will need a certain Carlos Baleba. He is a kind of profile that is good on the ball, off the ball, that covers grounds, that's a ball carrier. That's a good passer. That's a controller in the tight spaces. He's a physical specimen, and it's important for you to get him in your side. Well, Manchester United have been pushing for Carlos Baleba. And then a Brighton former manager, friend of Fabian Hazeler, in his pre-match press conference, say he doesn't think Manchester United can buy a Brighton friend Carlos Baleba. He says that he's very, very confident that Carlos Baleba will stay. And I think that it's because he knows that Carlos Baleba is going to be very expensive. Very, very expensive. He is not going to be cheap at all. Very expensive from team and friend in Brighton and home Albion. This evening, Liverpool started the onslaught of English Premier League. Who wins the English Premier League? Who starts? How does it start? Weekend way Arsenal and Manchester United are going at it. Who is going to win that game? I've seen on Arsenal's X page where players now arriving. Noni, Madueke, Etan, and Waneri, a bunch of friend of Martin Odegaard in Arteta's pre-match press conference. Mikel Arteta said this season again, the captain, the best player, the number 10, the creative domino player, I will think you want him, your friend of Martin Odegaard, and not any other person or them. So, Arsenal are preparing for themselves, of course. Gabriel Mosquera, Christian Mosquera, Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba. Everybody is in that team. They are making sure so they get a job done and possibly go to Manchester United and upset them and get the win from there. Ruben Amorim say he has seen Benjamin Sesko physically. He thinks that he is perfect for the league. Amorim says that Benjamin Sesko is perfect for the kind of footballer he wants to play. He said he's physical, he's combative, he's one of the best that you can get in the business, and he says that he has the brain and intelligence to also thrive in the English Premier League. Benjamin Sesko, top down, Charlie Manchester United fans, and give him and say Benjamin Sesko will do the job for them. So Amorim has given the seal of approval. Bam! Say Abrante and Benjamin Sesko is going to be the player that they need to get a job. That we'll see if Benjamin Sesko can do that job, when it comes to Robin Amorim, or it's not going to happen for him, or other things are going to happen. And we'll see how things are going to pan out from there when it comes to Benjamin Sesko and then and saying John Hato has also spoken to the Dutch media where he talks about the fact that Chelsea for that general fell, so it has been very exciting for him to play at Chelsea Football Club. He has had a very, very good time with the guys, and he's excited to be to be there right about now. See, I will see how things are going to go. Everything is set. Premier League, Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie, and then you may Villarreal, Bebo, Thomas Partey. We're expecting him to have a game to play this weekend, tonight. Sorry, of course, Girona and so Bebo, or Spanish La Liga, and then other games that are going to go on also in against the record. We'll see how things are going to pan out from there. We'll see how things are going to pan out from there in terms of all of the games now, all of the players now, and how things are going on. A Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Don't subscribe to the channel there. Michelle, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification. In the notification turning, do choose all. Notification turning, do choose all. So anytime your content every drop you are first to have it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Until then, take care.